Fridays.
You want to put your one time in this way?
Great. I think it's the low side. I don't think so. Oh, yeah. No, everything else, we don't. It's included. To a summary. Well. And you're.
Future.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm switching on.
I'm just getting this packet, these are coming right from the script out of the. They're out of the box.
It is start like.
Less than 1 year. That there's only changes. It's not gonna work, not changes.
It's fine. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Would you rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation. Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm Kathy Madison. I'm the deputy mayor, acting mayor right at the moment. I want to do roll call.
Tracy Durham, clerk treasurer.
Lori Burbridge, trustee.
Which we have trustee.
Pat Nowak, trustee.
Matthew Seymour, an attorney.
Kevin Dreschel, code enforcement officer.
All right, thank you. Should I read the letter in, the resignation letter first? Yeah, probably. Okay. So the first order of business, I would like to read a resignation letter from our former mayor. They just did it, 1 second, you guys. No. Here we go. This is from September 11th to the Village Board of Trustees and residents of Sodas Point. I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank the Village Board of Trustees for their dedicated service to our community over the past 12 years and for supporting me during my tenure as mayor these past 7 months. These months have been very trying for me personally and professionally, and after careful consideration, I have made the decision to step down from the office of mayor effective tomorrow, September 12th at 12:01 a.m. To every resident who has entrusted me with their confidence through my years of service as a public official, I extend my deepest gratitude. Serving this community has been one of the greatest honors of my life. He says that he feels that he's confident leaving the village in incapable hands. And from the bottom of my heart, he says, thank you. That's from William Kalush Jr. And that will go as part of the official record.
You should do a motion to accept his resignation.
Okay, all right.
I move with regret and gratitude for Bill's fabulous service through the years and his continued service with the ambulance. That we accept Bill's resignation with sincere regret and best wishes for happy lives.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carried. I would like to entertain a motion to go into a very quick executive session. And come right back out. Would somebody want to make a motion for the purposes of discussing an advisor to the board?
You can all stay, we'll
Yeah.
go.
We'll go.
Second.
With,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
everybody, okay. We're just gonna go next door. We'll be right back.
Oh, this is.
You know.
You get to entertain while we're done.
Amongst yourself. Yeah, entertain.
You got sure?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we're trying to have time before we have to go back.
Sorry.
Oh. Oh, you can this. Yeah. I
Oh, yeah.
I don't know later.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't see how it was.
It was.
Some of the studies, but that's giving.
Yeah. You know, I was like. I hope so. Does she have to write that? Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Central.
You know, if that's the, don't. You went my brain, I saw it. Did you look the line? I say, no, yeah. No, but you have to do, my mom was gonna come. Yeah, oh, yeah.
That's why she was. And she puts a certain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the intersection one, all that. So, like, we might have about. We have to help you out.
Bring the meeting back to order. And We need a motion to come.
Motion to come back in resolution.
Yeah, we need a motion.
I make a motion to come back into open session.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I want to read a motion, to appoint Scott Johnson as advisor to the Board of Trustees. Whereas the Village Board of Trustees of the Village of Sodas Point recognizes the value of experienced guidance and wishes to strengthen its deliberations with the input of a trusted advisor. And whereas Scott Johnson has been identified as a qualified individual to serve in such an advisory capacity to the Board of Trustees, now therefore be it resolved that the Village Board of Trustees hereby appoints Scott Johnson as an advisor to the Board of Trustees with the following duties and limitations. Attendance and participation. Scott Johnson shall be seated with the Board of Trustees during all public meetings and may offer opinions, recommendations, and general advisory input on matters before the board. Number 2, voting authority. Scott Johnson shall not possess voting power and shall not cast a vote for any resolution, motion, or action of the board. Executive session. Number 3, Scott Johnson may be invited by motion of the board to attend executive sessions where the board deems his advisory presence appropriate and beneficial. Number 4, meeting procedures. All meetings shall be presided over by the mayor of the Village of Sodas Point. In the absence of the mayor, the Board of Trustees may request that Scott Johnson, in his capacity as advisor, preside for the limited purposes of calling the meeting to order, maintaining order, and moving through the agenda items without exercising decision-making authority. Number 5, term and scope. This advisory appointment shall remain in effect unless modified or rescinded by further resolution of the Village Board of Trustees. Be it further resolved that this motion shall take effect immediately upon its adoption. Is there any discussion on this?
So moved with enthusiasm.
We have a second?
Your second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Scott?
Boys.
All right. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Hello, everybody.
You want to sit up here?
I don't have any.
There you go. There you go. Would you want to run through the meeting and then we will just
Sure.
chime in on the topics?
All right, but, report, look like. Look who Mayor Meadows.
All right, the Silver Waters ambulance had a total of 13 calls for the month of August, 8 of which were billable so far. In this month, there have been 6 calls. They've had 100 calls so far this year. Tourism, the season has ended at the Information Center. A total of 1,160 visitors signed the boat there, which is averaging about 27 people per day when it was open. And it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday during season. This is slightly up from 2024. I've provided the full report from Bob Jones listing where the visitors came from and visitor comments, as well as some information that I'm providing to the town of Sodas. That's also attached to your packet that I handed out. Communication, not so much going on at the moment. On October 19th, the village is sponsoring a Halloween parade in honor of Jeff Webster, a resident who passed away earlier this year. It's a freight, it's an adult parade. It's not really a kiddie parade, though I'm sure there'll be kids at it, but look for more information on that. And I don't have any report for the zoning board.
Question or comment? Good. CEO Josh.
For September, I had 12 building permits issued. For the zoning, we had a number of reviews, and for planning, we had a number of reviews. That total fees generated is incorrect. I don't know why I didn't populate correctly, but that's $1,860 in fees. The other thing I wanted to comment on that I don't think it's part of my report is the beach dune. Mary Osterman is in the audience. So just a quick update on my side of it. I have sent the application in to the DEC. That's been submitted. I was hoping to hear back today, but hoping then tomorrow. We haven't gotten the approved permit yet. Mary has finished all of her resident surveys, and she has an executive summary, which she can present to you guys. You guys have a copy of that. She can give you a quick rundown of what she's done.
Mary Osterman, New York Sea Grant. So Kevin asked if I would just give a really quick update. So you should also know that tomorrow from 3 to 5 is a public session. It's open to everyone to hear more about the entire project, not just the interview process. But in August, Sea Grant conducted 19 interviews with different residents to gather perspectives on the dune. This really talked about their experiences with the dune, concern, thoughts about the existing management plan, and then what they'd like to see in a future management plan, both parcel level and then also system wide. We also did have a question in there about whether or not the the establishment of a special tax district was something that people were willing to discuss. When we looked at the data, Kevin and I talked about it, we decided to separate out the responses. So you will see when we submit the full report, there's an overall response, but then we also parceled it out by stretch. So the first stretch is 1st to 3rd streets, the second is 4th to 6th, and then the third is 7th and 8th, because it seemed to be a lot of commonalities within those different sectors. So overall, the concerns were lack of maintenance and broken promises, access and safety issues with the walkway, so being unstable and not ADA compliant anymore, a lot of sand buildup and trespassing, loss of views and property value concerns, poor transparency and communication from the village and also the beach advisory committee. And then there were debates over funding for ongoing maintenance plans or ongoing maintenance and also the special tax district. So just some highlights from the key themes. So 1st to 3rd, strong dissatisfaction with the dune, so blocked views, sinking yards, maintenance failures, access and safety concerns, so walkways again unsafe and not ADA compliant. Frustration with governance, so mistrust in the beach advisory committee, broken promises, poor communication, general opposition to the tax district without clarity, and some willingness to do self-maintenance if given authority and standards. So one thing I do want to mention is that everyone expressed they wanted to do the right thing, but we're not clear what the right thing was. 4th to 6th, that was, so now we get into like the gray area, right? So it's mixed perspective. Some people loved it, and some people don't love it so much. So positive on flood protections, other were critical of views lost. Again, right of way access, at the end of the number of streets, concerns about safety there. Height and growth concerns, so the dune's larger than expected. Beach grooming frustration, so there's a desire for that continued maintenance of the beachfront that used to happen, but has not happened in the last few years. Skepticism about a tax district, but emphasis on fair funding approaches. So some people were strongly opposed and other people were willing to listen. 7th and 8th, so generally more positive and supportive of the dune. They like the stability and the privacy, in addition to flood protection. Concerns were moderate, again, about dune height and encroachment on the back dune on some of the properties. And also the sandbag idea. So they would like to get away from sandbags, so they like the idea of having a dune and not having to sandbag. More skepticism about governance and participation. So they had minimal interaction with the maintenance plan, and some of them didn't even know it existed. Mixed parcel scale views. Some are willing to help, others would prefer to have the maintenance taken care of for them. And the funding is seen as primarily a village county responsibility for those on 7th and 8th. And then the fourth group was non-beachfront property owners. So while we targeted those who live across, along the beach, there were a few people that live on the numbered streets that were not beachfront that asked to be interviewed. So we also got their information as well. So 4 of the 19 were those people. Split perspectives, some strongly supportive of the privacy and the flood protections, others very critical, they think it's overkill and also limits their views. Frustration with the lack of follow through and communication from the beach advisory committee. Boundaries were unclear between private versus municipal responsibilities, and skepticism over the special tax district. Though a few said that they would be willing to discuss, or a couple said they'd be willing to discuss. So overall, recommendations for the village were to establish a clear governance structure with defined roles for the village, the county, the homeowners, and any beach advisory committee. Publish and enforce a structured maintenance schedule. So folks are really hoping that this could be semi-annual and on some kind of sort of scheduled, like something they could expect. Kind of like a garbage pickup kind of thing. Maintain consistent dune height and width tied to the original design and flood protection goals, so they understand overall the need for the dune, but question if the height is currently what's needed and the width. Ensure ADA compliant walkways and safe public access. So this again, addressing those walkways at the end of the numbered streets, and also clarifying funding sources and explore options before pursuing resident supported mechanism. And one thing that didn't fall out in this executive summary, but I think it's important to note, is that some folks, it's also a personal safety issue because they can't see from their property to the beachfront, like if they have children or something out on the beach, that they're not able to see children, so they express concern about safety damage. So that's the nuts and bolts of it. After we have the event tomorrow, we will, and I also wanted my counterpart, Roy, to be able to look at the report before we submit it as well. So we can expect that within the next week.
We were able to take all of that information that they gave us and put it into the DEC application and amend it. So pretty much every resident's voice should have been heard in what we applied for.
This is really well done.
Yeah.
Very, very nice job, because the voices didn't have a chance. And no matter how hard you tried to get on, it was a dead end. So nice job.
Thank you. And I do want to thank the people that came out and got interviewed. I know that at the beginning, it was met with prickled affection, we'll call it. And I think once people understood that Sea Grant is here as an unbiased partner to hear the voices and package that, like, I hope that people that were interviewed can hear, even just in this executive summary, we didn't sugarcoat anything. What was said was reported. And so I'm hopeful that this is the start of improved transparency in the process moving forward. So Kevin and I also talked about ways to interact and provide some kind of like evaluation and adaptability for an ongoing advisory committee, just to make sure that it's still meeting the needs of what the property owners and also the village needs.
As we go along through this too, there probably should be somebody that should probably become a committee on the board. To have somebody that the Dunes people can come and share their information with. So, and a representative that can maybe help facilitate that as a commissioner.
That sounds good. Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Thank you,
what
Mary.
went into that.
And it's at the fire hall tomorrow.
It's a
I need a
real
lead.
good time. Everyone.
We need a lead for the board.
Yeah,
For this.
yeah.
Okay. He's Craig.
Okay, so from a water perspective, the water department report. From the work completed, we do operations and testing. So the Village of Sodas crews are currently helping us out. And they do our fifth one and monthly reports to the DOH. They did a bunch of repair and maintenance. They did a water leak within the village was located and repaired. The valve in the village system have been identified and marked for maintenance as needed, either for repairs or for cleaning up of debris. Full inventory and recommending purchasing list was created to stockpile materials. 2 water service connections were completed with the help of Kevin and Josh Gregg. And then from a metering perspective, we have 95% of the meters read, so we have a few left to do. And that'll be done pretty shortly. And then Bob Elliott continues to work on the second connection to our water plant. And he's got all the information he needs, so hopefully that'll happen soon. From a sewer perspective, not a lot happened. Our samples draws were exactly what they were supposed to be. The fence, I think everybody saw the fence, that's done, so. The only thing we're waiting on now is another quote for a pump. I'm gonna actually work on it this week because Kevin wasn't, or Josh wasn't able to get a pump or any other quote for the pump, so we need one more quote to repair the pump that was our backup pump. So
What's the new cost, is that 25,000?
it was double the cost of a repair. And then I gotta get another quote. The challenge is the people that make the pump are also the repair people, and we have to buy that pump because it fits in our machine. So I gotta get another quote, just so it meets our purchasing requirements. I think that's it on my end.
Questions, comments? Good. Thank you. You know,
So the highway department, basically cut the lawn. And, then I didn't think they normally do during the month, but they also cleaned around both, water tower plants and level them out, clean them up, and made them look presentable. And also Terry welded the trailer, fixed it up because it had damage to it about 3 years ago. And he's also working on our side cutter, and he's welding that as well. So they also ordered salt and stone. So.
no issue getting salt.
Huh?
No issue getting salt.
No, we had it, we're
Did they actually order it or did they,
or they told me today he ordered it.
okay, who does he order from?
I didn't ask.
America, they have a state contract.
Yeah. It's a statement.
Okay.
Question, comments? Good. Good. Okay, thank you. Trustee Burbridge.
The LWRP has been busy. According to from Sharon Lua, I have, their next meeting is with the planning board on October 6th. Barton and LaJudas will attend by Zoom. There are several steps involved in the adoption of the comprehensive plan as follows. They have to refer the comp plan to the village planning board. They have to refer the comp plan to the county planning board under GML 239. This has been done and comments received. As a special committee that coordinated the development of the comprehensive plan, the WAC must hold a public hearing on the draft comp plan. That's Wayne County. Recommended changes up to the comp plan are incorporated into the document subsequent to the village planning board and county planning board review and after the WAC planning public hearing. Is that what you do as far as putting all the stuff together? Because I know you've been doing a lot of code issues.
So what was it? I'm sorry, say it.
It's the changes to the comp plan.
So no, I'm not touching, I'm not doing anything to the comp plan. The comp plan is in, ready to go. pretty
Ready to
much.
go.
They're just reviewing it, giving a few comments, and then Sharon's doing the presentation. I'm not
Okay.
touching anything.
Over.
The code, we're going through and finishing up our comments now. Zoning's just about done with that, and then planning will work with Sharon and
Very
then,
good.
yeah.
Planning board conducts a waterfront consistency review of the comp plan. Then the comp plan is then provided to the village board and the seeker review commences with the village board serving as lead agency. Once received, the village board then has 90 days to hold a public hearing prior to adoption. Subsequent to the public hearing and at the same meeting, the village board can issue a seeker negative declaration and then hopefully adopt the comp plan. This is a very long process, but it is required by New York State before they will approve the overall LWRP at a later date. It's important to note that the comp plan is required a required addendum to the LWRP. As what will be the zoning code updates. And then the playground committee for Willow Park met this morning. And President Hobie is here to discuss it a little bit. And
My name is Ferdinand Hogius and I'm the treasurer and also a board member of Friends of Willow Park. We have a memorandum of understanding that was signed by the village as well as by corporation, the Friends of Willow Park back in March of 2024. And part of the agreement was that we would look at this by June 1st of 2026 to see where things stood. And that was on the assumption that we would start in September of this year. And then we would have the winter month, and hopefully by June, we would have it done, and then we go to the next phase. So there's several phases. This only is involved in phase number 1. So we are behind schedule intentionally. Okay, one of the reasons we did not start it in September, a month ago, or this month, I guess, it is technically September 15th even. We have the ability to lower a lot of our costs. Some of the costs were extremely high, and we received a lot of money in grants from some very sizable financial institutions, ESL, the Reliant, as well as several other
Whitman,
organizations. Thomas Otis,
yeah,
a bunch of other ones. So we have a date in here of June 1st, 2026. And not to get into any difficulty with anybody in the future, when we're asking for money, we like to say that we are good at least with the village until 2027. So it gives us an extra time frame to start the work. It gives us actually access, because one of the things this memorandum does, it gives us access to Willow Park, because technically it's owned by the village. So the simple end result is all we're asking for is the change of June 1, 2026 to June 1, 2027. Nothing else will change, just a matter of, we didn't start in September 15th. We know we're not gonna have it done June 1st, so we need to have it. And I think, I'm correct, Lori has a resolution for that.
yeah, but we need to make a motion to extend it.
Can we hold off on this until our legal counsel has a chance just to review this? I mean, it still goes through can we take care of this at the next meeting? I mean, we still got some time.
But well, I think go ahead.
Should. Do you want?
It was to have to.
I haven't seen it. I'm happy to look at it if you think I should.
It's the exact thing that they say.
The original.
I think the memorandum of agreement. with
That's
the
what it
village,
is, and we're just asking
Just
to
extending it for another.
1 year.
Is
and
anything
nothing.
changing besides the
Nothing.
time?
No, you're,
No.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
No change.
You approved that before.
Just
Right.
Yeah, we're just changing the date of project 1, not anything else.
What was
One
the
of the,
other?
one of the concerns that we have, if we don't change the date soon, it hamper us with getting more grant money.
Yeah.
Because we have to disclose
And
this memorandum.
we have not, so if you look at it, you'll see project 3, and I know that's the one you're concerned about with the spray thing. That's going, but we can't do it till we get there, but we've already had the drawings redone.
So shouldn't this be the time when you could make those?
No, we're just looking to do number 1. We don't have the money for number 3 yet. We're gonna have all we can do to get number 2. And when it comes to number 3, we'll meet that.
They actually have to go and
Keep it simple.
go to the village board for every
Every-
single phase.
When we get ready to do
So
this,
we
you have
can't
to
even make
approve it.
changes to phase 1.
Yeah, that was my recollection, right? The actual plan has to be approved as well, right?
Every level of it.
Okay,
Cody is just an extension of the.
so this is just more or less just outlining a framework.
Yeah.
Time
It-
frame and
it
that they agree.
Nothing is approved on it except the date and the playground,
Yeah,
part one.
I don't have any,
Project one.
I don't have any issue with it, Kathy, but if you wanna go, you know.
You're not approving the water part.
Yeah,
You're only approving
extend
project
the-
one.
the memorandum of understanding.
Wouldn't it be better, I mean, I'm just talking out loud, is to maybe revamp, you know, since you are making changes
Well,
to revamp.
We aren't making any changes actually in the playground. We've been able to get lower pricing. We've been able to lower the price starting with our landscape architect. So that's really where our big hit is. Then we've got another one where they've taken a lot. So we've gotten a grant from the playground committee that will pay for half of all the actual in-stock items. So it's a matching grant, and that's the one we've got to get going on. And so it's just for the playground. What you see in those diagrams, that's pretty much the equipment you're gonna see. Nothing's gonna change on that. It's just that one. It's just the playground part. It's not anything else.
And we gotta approve each phase.
And you have to improve each phase. And the other things we may look at is totally different as we go along. But, and even when we get ready to go, you're gonna have to approve the final plan.
All right,
We're just looking for an extension on the date. For project one.
so do they just do?
Would be a motion or resolution, but, I'd have to see it again to tell you what I'm having. The one that. What are the new dates you're looking for?
The same as June first,
1 year.
extend it 1 year to June 1st, 2027.
So whereas there's presently a memorandum of understanding that was previously entered into between the Village of Sodas Point and Friends of Willow Park Incorporated, a domestic not-for-profit corporation. That whereas the terms of the memorandum of understanding were previously agreed upon and are publicly available. Whereas the present term runs through June 1st, 2025.
2026.
Currently through June 1st, 2026 presently. And the parties are mutually agreeable to extend such memorandum of understanding through and to include June 1st, 2027. Is that what you're looking for?
Just for project one,
No other terms of the memorandum of understanding will be modified.
correct.
So you could use that as this.
And you can give that to Crazy. I'm sure I've got it electronically too, if you need it.
So you just on number one term, it's just going to June 1st, 2027.
Correct.
On page.
Yes, I would just do a resolution to approve Kathy Madison as deputy mayor to extend the memorandum of understanding through June 1st, 2027, as recited, you know, by me, and then do the resolution approving it, and you'll sign a new one once they change the date.
So if I make a motion to accept or to agree that that's the motion we wanna say, what you just said,
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, that-
Somebody can second it.
yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
And to
I make a
authorize
motion,
Kathy,
for seconds,
and to authorize Kathy.
and I authorize Kathy as our deputy,
Mayor.
So- and then we just have to approve. So now we have to vote yes.
All in favor?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Oh, no, so any other discussion? Sure, we can do that too. You're in charge.
Discussion, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Robert's.
I forget, I don't know those rules.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. I know that was a little, but we've got a big one coming.
Yeah.
You good?
Yep.
Oh, like.
You can just yeah, you can just say, try to keep it to 3 minutes.
Yeah. Usually we people to be heard. Usually do the first minutes. So I keep them muted on Zoom until you give me the, okay? Yeah.
Okay, we're moving to public comments. Anyone in the room? Okay, Mike, please. Mr. Appleby.
Try to keep the comments to 3 minutes.
So,
Yeah.
I will try to keep my comments for 3 minutes. I have 3 things I want to say. I'm Maxine Appleby, 7487 South Ontario Street. There's just 3 things I want to say. First of all, I want to thank Phil Kalush I know it's tough. And, you know, just to take that step is a big deal. So I just want to thank him, and I know you all want to thank him as well. I also want to talk about the misnomer of the water flooding over the walkways on the dunes. That is just not true. But there are barriers that you can buy just in case, okay? That you can put out. Dave McDowell and I had looked at those, they're plastic, they use them in flooding all over the world. Okay, so I'm suggesting, since, you know, this is an issue with some people, that you take a look at those barriers, they're plastic, they lock together, okay? Then the last thing I want to talk about is over the weekend, I heard someone very respected member of the community, an old Solis Pointer. I said, you know, why don't you be mayor? You've been here your whole life. Your father was mayor, your whole entire family has been involved in this village. And she said, if I was mayor, the first thing I would do is make a motion to leave the village as is. And I didn't have time to talk to her further, but I'm gonna talk to you. The New York Forward grant is coming up. And that is not anything new, okay? All it is enhancing what we have. That's it. It's enhancing, it's putting sidewalks down, what's that?
14.
Lake Street.
No, later.
Centel,
No,
Margaretta?
Margaretta, sidewalks down there, sorry, there with sidewalks, oh, it's not in there?
What about Lakewood?
Okay, well, Sharon's gonna come up and talk about that, I didn't know she was there. But all I wanna say is that, you know, the whole thing about this boardwalk, I mean, get real, do you think the boardwalk's gonna come like next week? It may take years before that boardwalk. Kretzer wants to move across the street, so that opens up that whole area. I was in Frederick, Maryland, and I gotta tell you, you should go. Their boardwalk is it's two-story, it's upper and lower, some of the finest restaurants that I've ever been to, it's beautiful. We spent the night in Clayton the other day, on our way to Vermont. I would encourage everybody to go to Clayton. Vibrant community, beautiful boardwalk, all around the city. I just feel like everybody is, they're not understanding. They're not thinking forward, and I'm asking you as a board, with Scott at the helm, and Sharon, I guess, is gonna be involved again, is to think forward, that just think about it, it's not gonna happen tomorrow, right, Sharon? Well, no, not tomorrow. Yeah, but it's.
Start like in 2007 or 8. When that when the
Well,
plane-
you know. Rocky originally, well, Sharon can speak to that, but the original grant for that was way before my time. Buffalo was mayor, so it's been kicking around for a really, really long time. That's just the boardwalk portion, that's just a little portion, okay, a little portion. So I just wanna let you guys know that, please, can you just think forward a little bit. Sodas Point does not have to change.
Thank you, Maxine.
Thank you.
Maxine.
Anyone else in? Here.
Sharon?
Good evening, you want Phil Leon, 7573 Fifth Street. It kind of coincides with what Maxine was just saying. We turn to the last page. Kind of relative, Gemini tonight.
I got one here. Daycare Stevenson.
So as you know, with the executive session, I offered, a boardwalk through my private property, 487 Craig Street, to help earn an easement to the village for free. With the neighboring property, 489 Craig Street, because we have we have an encroachment issue there. The front page of that is where it stands at the stage of the OGS right now. We've been trying to come to a resolution. We had a meeting last Friday. Started to move, which is good because we paid no more over the last 5 years. They now with the Polidoro family saying that they were gonna donate their entire deck to the village. I don't know how that looks, I don't know how that works, but they're still the riparian rights for my property were encroached by the way the deck was built. The last page of that is actually one of the renderings that they put forth when they applied for their building permit. And then they did a change over which removed 2 existing dilapidated docks and replaced them with new docks and built a boardwalk behind them. What was built did not comply. The closest thing in their drawings is that last one, which you can see the corner of minor riparian rights were encroached, was violated, but they respected it in their drawings. I highlighted easement that I offered to the village in orange, which would connect the road deck, which also shows that they have a walkway up on the outdoors third deck. So, but basically bring you around my property, around the front of their building partially, and then come back. But none of this can happen until we come to a revolution with the OGS. If we cannot come to a revolution prior to the survey that I ordered, the OGS has required me to pay for the full survey, which is $60,000. Once that's brought forth, it's either gonna go to a second stage hearing, which is like a trial, or there's gonna be a trespassing charge. We're trying to head that up. We started last Friday with it. I'm willing to continue in negotiation, but I think before the board can even contemplate this, because of the open case with the OGS, contemplate taking something out of this magnitude. We have to be careful as a building because there's still something that needs to be settled prior to you guys taking something that, you know, technically it's also, you know, state lands underwater. And it's unlicensed, so. Unlicensed, unpermitted on all levels. I'm willing to work with them, willing to work with the village, and I'm willing to work with the OGS. So,
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, Dave?
I came here to listen only tonight, but I've lived in this village for over 50 years. And we've been through many things. But it's the most disappointing thing that I heard tonight is here we've been discussing when Phil acquired this property, he knew there was an encroachment. He executed the sales purchase contract, bought it, knowing that existed. The village granted a C of O for this property, for the potential operation of a wonderful restaurant that's been in existence. And there's been nothing but turmoil caused by Mr. Leon. It's about time Mr. Leon stands up and admits if he wants to be a trustee in this village, that he conducts himself as a trustee. If he wants to be a trustee, and act in the right manner to allow this sale of his business to be concluded. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? None?
There you go.
Anyone on Zoom? No. Okay,
Did somebody ask?
no,
No, they can
They can unmute themselves. So if you have a question, unmute yourself on Zoom.
okay. Good. wastewater pump repair.
Public comment is closed.
Yep. Well,
So the pump repair is, something that I have to address, so we can move on.
Yeah, we know it's 25 grand.
okay,
We're just trying to get another quote so that we can check our.
It was like
purchase.
12 for,
Well, yeah. Yep.
12,000.
okay. All right, on the new business. Marl and Eric Holding, land acquisition.
Wait a second, I just said one thing for old business. This is, we did a thing on a roof chart a couple weeks ago, last meeting. And I said I would put together, you don't have to do anything with this tonight, I'm just distributing it. So it was done, and you'll take a look at them, it's just a quick start guide for being on the board.
Thank you.
That's it, thank you.
Thank you, Nancy, or next.
Thank you.
Well,
Alrighty. The Marl and Eric Holding. Can you introduce yourselves?
My name is Karen Polidori, my husband Mara,
Thank you.
we're speaking together tonight. But before we get started, the minutes from the August 21st meeting, have they been approved yet?
Actually, we needed to circle back to that, because we did skip over that.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good point.
But, so we need to,
So
do you want us to wait? and Do it?
no, if you could go through that, that would be.
Yep.
appreciated.
No, that's not a problem. But I need a motion to approve the August 21st, 2025 regular meeting minutes.
Sure.
Thank you, Brett. Second,
I guess I'll say.
thank you, Brett, all in favor?
Okay.
Okay, confirmed.
Alright, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So before I begin, I'd like to, I'm not sure who will do it, I'm assuming Tracy. If you could read the first point under other business from those minutes.
I don't have the. Let me go.
I have a draft version, I have a draft version, are they the same?
Alright. Let me have.
assuming they're the same, I didn't wanna.
Alright, so the motion, it says, motion trustee Burbridge and seconded by trustee Madison to move to executive session to discuss land acquisition. Trustee Burbridge invited Phil Leon into the session at 7:17. Motion carried, all voting.
Okay, thank you. Right, thanks. So we purchased 8489 Bright Street in January of 2017. I've got handouts for all of this when I'm done, so it looks long. Shortly thereafter, we began the process with the village of renovating the building. During construction, we went back to the village and asked if the old dilapidated docks could be replaced with a patio. As part of that request, we were directed to appear before both planning and zoning boards. Both boards agreed that the patio met the requirements of the New York State approved LWRP downtown vision plan. Further, we were informed by the village that we did not need to complete a joint application. We were issued the necessary permits and subsequent CFO by the village in June of 2017, and I have copies of all of that. 3 years later, in 2020, Mr. Leon purchased 8487 Greg Street, currently known as Leon Landing. Shortly after his purchase, Mr. Leon created what has turned out to be a 4-year-long conflict by contacting the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Department of Environmental Conservation, Office of General Services, Department of State, and the EPA, erroneously accusing us of knowingly constructing our patio without permission. This is a flat-out lie. During a meeting in 2021 with Mr. Leon and the Army Corps of Engineers, along with us, the Army Corps asked if there was any compromise between the two neighbors. We, during that meeting, offered to complete Mr. Leon's wall at our expense. Mr. Leon refused the proposal. If Mr. Leon loves Stokes Point so much, why would he file complaints with government agencies when the approved structure had been there 3 years prior to him owning his building? The prior owner had no issues with our patio. We believe Mr. Leon's apparent motive when contacting the agencies was to complete some sort of a flood barrier wall. He claims that a portion of our patio needs to be removed. Removal of any portion of our patio kills the future boardwalk in the approved New York State vision plan that the residents of Sodas Point have made clear is important to them. I would also like to point out that the incomplete barrier wall that Mr. Leon claims is on his land is in fact placed at the bottom of the bay instead of on his pre-existing concrete break wall, which is not per his permit. As a result of Mr. Leon's malicious tale of fiction, we have spent countless hours defending ourselves to various government agencies, not to mention that we have spent more than $50,000 in attorney's fees. We have been victimized and have experienced numerous untruths and rumor spreading since Mr. Leon purchased Leon Landing. We have even been accused of having political power over someone at the Army Corps of Engineers. What does that even mean? I would like to fast forward to May of 2025, when we realized that it would have been in the best interest of the village in 2017 to have had something in writing documenting the stipulation that our permit C of O were granted because our patio conforms to the the New York State approved downtown vision plan, the LWRP, and someday would be a waterfront public portal. In an effort to resolve the issue retroactively, on June 27th, 2025, we proposed to give the village the future boardwalk site in the form of a 5-foot dedication from east to west across our patio, along with a temporary access easement. This dedication conforms to the downtown vision plan, the LWRP boardwalk. Simple real estate transaction that has no monetary benefit to us. Our dedication proposal was placed on the July 24th Village Board agenda as other business in executive session. I need to read the approved minutes from the July 24th meeting. Other business, motion by trustee Burbridge and seconded by trustee Madison to move to executive session to discuss possible litigation and real estate opportunity. I believe that was our dedication. Our understanding of executive session is that no one is to speak about what is discussed in an executive session. I've got the minutes that you guys can all read later. So I'm going to go around and ask each one of you, did anybody speak about executive session from the July 24th meeting? I'll start with Mayor Madison. Did you speak outside of executive session
No.
from the July 24th meeting? Thank you. Trustee Sprague? No. Trustee Burbridge?
No.
Trustee Noack? And I think I got everybody. Okay. A month later, at the August 21st meeting, as stated in the approved minutes that Tracy read, Mr. Leon was invited into executive session by Trustee Burbridge. I don't need to read all that again. Trustee Burbridge, sure you didn't speak to Mr. Leon about anything that was discussed in the July 24th meeting?
Positive.
Okay. Seems highly suspicious that on August 21st, at that board meeting, Mr. Leon was invited into executive session by Trustee Burbridge with a prepared proposal for an easement. When up until then, he maintained that he couldn't finish his wall and a portion of our deck needed to be removed. What happened, he had a March proposal or a March 2025 proposal of us removing 20 feet of our patio, moving our fence so that he could have perpetual use of 20 feet of our patio, or OGS's offer to define a monetary value of the area in question. How is it that Mr. Leon was able to get invited into executive session with a prepared statement if nobody talked to him? Highly suspicious. Mr. Leon is not a public official. Why was he invited into executive session on August 21st? The dedication that was proposed in the July 24th executive session has nothing to do with Mr. Leon. It only has 8489 Greg Street. It's nothing to do with 8487. We believe that Trustee Burbridge violated her ethical responsibility as a village trustee by speaking outside of executive session when we asked for her immediate resignation. I ask that the documents referred to this evening be attached to the minutes and be made part of the public record. Thank you, and I would like to turn it over to Mara. Got a handout for everybody.
Yep, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Sorry.
So my name is Carl Oliver, so we, came to the source point in, 2012. Bought a cottage. With a little remodel. Fell in love with Source Point. We owned 2 other restaurants at that time. But, I loved the point so much that I wanted to do another restaurant out here. Pretty much knowing that it wouldn't be much of a problem because it's seasonal. I just wanted to improve, to make Source Point nicer. I haven't lived here for 50 years, like the other gentleman that spoke. And I'm sure he loves Source Point. There's a lot of people that love Source Point, but there's a few people that, sure want to hurt Source Point. I think, my opinion. All right, so that's our thing. 2012 we came, 2017, we stuck a lot of money into a restaurant that I know everyone says that we're making money. We're not making any money here. And that's not my, backtrack. And well, that was just. Well, we're almost done. So after years, down the read, that was just off the top of my head. After years of quietly fighting and debating with government agencies, it is time that the public become aware of just how much jeopardy this village is in. There are some real problems and some very power-hungry individuals lurking around looking to get into the village government. Back in 2017, all I wanted, which I've already said, was a nice family dining experience for the point. We purchased the building and worked with the village to obtain permits. And subsequently got a COO and been operating since 2017. It's important to note that during the permit process, we were specifically instructed by the town, not by Kevin, not to do a joint application. Which would have involved various government agencies. Mr. Rochelle received his information from Matt Griffith at the DEC. And don't forget, 2017 was one of our first high water, and it was just crazy. Yes. When Mr. Leon purchased this building 3 years later in 2020, known as Leon Landing, he was well aware of the fact that a patio was there. Prior, no one ever complained until he bought that building. In fact, I recall him sitting and enjoying the patio multiple times. Starting fall of 21, we received notices, and this is a little bit of repetition from Karen, but starting in fall of 2001, we received notices from that Mr. Leon filed complaints with 5 government agencies. And that's pretty much free to him. We're out $50,000 to chase nothing. That Karen referred to earlier. We have been defending ourselves to all of them, even though the village gave us a permit and a COO. So the village really hasn't helped in this issue. And I'm a builder developer by trade. So when you get a COO, or I'm sorry, when you get a building permit, that means it's a go. And when you're done and it's inspected, there's a COO. Then you conduct business. So for 3 years, no problems. Mr. Leon shows up. And then you can hear our voice. Like this is like pretty much done as of tonight. We're done. If you guys don't understand what's going on, then we'll just keep spending money. I don't know. At first, and Mr. Leon, he can call OGS tomorrow, and this will be over. Okay, that we're good. It's all on his plate, but he wants to sit there. Beware. At first, Mr. Leon said he wanted a patio. We have it all documented. Oh, I'm sorry. We want our patio removed totally And then he went to just cut it so I can put the wall in. I offered to complete it at no charge, but he didn't want that. For some, it's unbelievable if someone wants to do something for free for someone and they say no. Can't figure that one out. If one of you guys could, please let me know. I even offered it during, well, that's when I offered the first time, during the meeting with Army Corps, and he said no. When Mr. Leon realized that, we were going after this dedication, I think he's realizing, now it's getting, close to who's gonna win, who's gonna lose. So his proposal still is that now he doesn't want us to rip out the deck. But he wants to own 25 foot of our deck. So now there is no reason, you don't have to, he thought he had to do it in the water, well, there's no water there, number one, to get to that. He wants to own 25 foot of our deck, so he can, pound his wall in, which I was gonna do for free anyway. And there's no way that we are gonna give Mr. Leon anything, but we will give the town whatever they want. Okay, public, then he can go there and pound his wall in. Because my offer of pounding the wall in disappeared a long time ago, especially after my $50,000 plus legal fee.
I need to interrupt 1 second. So one of his proposals is that he gets perpetual third-degree interest, which basically means that he owns 20 foot of our dock.
Right.
So we went from cutting the deck off to using it.
Correct, I think I just said, okay. I believe. I mean, it just makes you wonder what his motive is. Could it be that he wants to own a large portion of our patio? I just don't know what he wants. In May of 2025, we started working on language for the dedication, which should have happened in 2017. And me as a developer, I can't believe that I dropped the ball on that, but I never thought that there'd be a monster working, so. You know what I'm saying, I mean, it wasn't a big deal. We would give that to the town at any time. Should have happened in 17. We firmly believe that the village should have taken the dedication back in 17 at the issuance of the CO, which is typical. For, like, I develop road subdivisions and I give it to the town. That's the same thing, and if we would have done that even before he bought the building, anytime between 17 and 2020. There would be no government agencies. He could have called 10 government agencies and they would have said, sorry. It all conforms, it's water dependent, it's everything's there. But because we, town and us, forgot the dedication part. That's why she leaked. That's why he came and offered something. He wanted to be first. That's what he is. He thinks he's something and he's nothing in this town. At the following meeting on August 21st, Mr. Leon miraculously, I just said that, but I can repeat it, came with an easement offer. I mean, he wouldn't give up a blade of grass, gentlemen. He's a taker. He's not a giver. He's a taker. The timing of the offer, wow, very, very suspicious. How did Mr. Leon suddenly come up with that easement proposal? Well, we were here the month before. Should not have leaked out. Somebody leaked it. Really? How did it leak out?
Morrow, please speak to the board.
How did it leak out? Okay, so miraculously, he wants to give. I think that's the first time that gentleman's ever given anything to anybody. Okay,
It's all part of it.
we met with Mr. Leon and his attorney last Friday, right here, in time for the resolution. And he came here with the same thing. I want your property. He wants our deck. He can do the wall on the deck, which I knew that back with Army Corps, the first meeting. I said, oh, I got it. I'll do the deck or the break wall. So he wanted it out. Now he doesn't want it out, but now he'd rather own it. Cause at the meeting I said, Phil, I ain't giving it to you, but I'll give it to the town. And maybe Kevin, town attorney, can vouch for that. I will not give it to Phil, but I will give it to the town, and he can pound that little bit of wall he's got left. After being disrespected by Mr. Leon and his attorney, it was clear that we were not getting anywhere. Which that's why it's been a 4-year battle for us. And we were sort of chasing. It was sort of chasing him, but really, like I said, it's all about the dedication. And if the town realized it, and we realized it, and it was dedicated, OGS, Army Corps, DEC, EPA, they wouldn't have had a leg to stand on. It was all permitted. Yeah. Well, I'm not a public servant. After further.
You want to say that you offered to dedicate the entire tax force and put that.
Well, we did. Because the meeting
It
was,
was an
I
informal.
didn't even want the meeting, because I knew it wasn't gonna go anywhere, okay? But we did it, just to clear it out. And we did say we're gonna just dedicate the whole thing to the village. Just to get this over, we need it over, this is not for us, we need it over, okay? But then we realized afterwards, how do we serve liquor anymore? Out of our, we have open doors to the top. It can't be all public. We're gonna rope off the 5 feet very nicely. And make that the boardwalk, which it should be, but we can't give, we realize we can't give the whole deck. Then how do we serve liquor? And we can't serve liquor and they sit on that deck anymore. So we need to keep most of that. And that's what it was all about anyway. It was 5 feet on the water side. That's how our permit was given. Cool. After further thought, I came up with another solution. To be
It should be interpreted.
as nothing but a win for everyone, including Mr. Leon.
That's attachment 9 in the packet I gave you.
Because I'm not a bad person, I love Sodas Point. I would like to present that final offer of dedication.
Or did I say the wrong number? I'm sorry. Hey, I said the wrong number, sorry.
Great.
I am giving the defined 15 by 20 foot area next to Leon Landing to the public, so it's more than enough room for him to complete his deck. He wants it, he wants to own it, but there's no way. I'm giving it to the town as a dedication for public boardwalk. You can put benches on it, you can pound his wall, everyone's happy. We're gonna rope it, we're good. Since this area is the area that's in dispute. Mr. Leon can coordinate with the village to gain access, because it's public space. Assuming, of course, that is legally.
His wall, that he was permitted.
Yeah, well, I will not give Mr. Leon any of it, but I will give the town that portion. I especially ask for the board to take action tonight and accept the dedication for the future boardwalk, as I've drawn in my plan. And there's a copy of Mr. Leon's boardwalk plan.
That's the other map in your packet.
That is a farce. It doesn't work. He, between his building and his glass windows that are not tempered, he has 2.5 feet of space for a sidewalk on. 2.5 feet. I don't think that's a public sidewalk legally. Of course, over the past 4 years, there seems to be reluctance in the village to acknowledge
Okay, I'll take over. Over the course of the past 4 years, there seems to be reluctance by the village to acknowledge the LWRP vision plan. There also seems to be interpretation of the LWRP in present day terms. It is very important and relevant that the board members be reminded that in 2017, if the dedication was taken, navigation law 270 would have made the patio a water dependent use.
It's actually,
They don't have that yet. The reason DEC, Matt Griffith from the DEC and the village didn't require the joint application. The high water events of 17 and 19, the village didn't take the dedication. Mr. Leon purchased the neighboring building, our building, in 2020. He didn't like the patio and complained to the various agencies. Got the dedication from 2017, OGS is saying the patio is not water dependent. But it is water dependent because it's part of the LWRP. All of this is a problem that could have been avoided in 2017. That's it. So they go on because we've got a lot of public comments and lots of volume here with documents. Perfect example of incorrect interpretation. By that, I mean people referring to the LWRP in current day time rather than in 17. Trustee Burbridge made an inaccurate comment during our second public hearing in December 20th, 2023. She based her facts on current plans for 2022. As trustee and commissioner of the LWRP, as she stated in her comments, how come she was unable to make the distinction between what went on in 2017 and what should have happened in 17 to what was going on in 22? She should have known that. Further, she should have known that public comments were due December 6th, and I've got a copy of the public hearing here. Hers showed up December 20th, 2023. Her comments were submitted to the Army Corps after the deadline, yet somehow Army Corps of Engineers accepted them, yet we're the ones that are.
so maybe
Political influence. Again, we call for trustee Burbridge's immediate resignation. Further, she should not be allowed to hold any official position in village government. In contrast, we would also like to submit Sharon Lilla's email to the Army Corps of Engineers correcting trustee Burbridge's viewpoint. And I have a copy of that I'll hand out tonight too. In closing, go ahead.
In closing, I would like to take a moment to express my opinion that the village is, I think, in real trouble. Some of the people on the board of trustees can't be trusted, as demonstrated earlier. Some of the people aspiring to be future trustees or even mayor have proven that their actions, that they are manipulative, untrustworthy, and self-serving. My real fear is that the village government is on a very slippery downward slope. I would strongly advise members to check the Leon family, Gates Child DPW. I would just strongly have everyone check on that. That's what I fear. That's what I fear for this village. That things might happen. Again, I encourage you, right, to evaluate differences between Phil's map that he drew that doesn't work and our final map for dedication. Thank you for your time.
And who wants the copy of everything that we referenced?
Like to.
Here. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Any comments?
Oh, we can do executive session.
It's a complicated situation.
Certainly need to have to review all these.
Alright.
Righty. Resolution committee pedestrian access to Willow Park, purposes of construction.
Yeah, I think Miss, is that Miss Sill?
Yep.
It sounds like she's coming up to present. Mr. Briggs was here, but I assume
Yeah.
he'll leave.
Yes, he, decided to Zoom call.
Oh, okay.
My name is Sharon Control. Formerly known as Sharon Silver, my husband James Petrol. I am the president, vice president of Stephen Silver. We are asking for the village, and this has been discussed with the previous mayor and the previous, village attorney before, that we could have them be allowed an access from the village over to our property for a pedestrian walkway for our voters and the agents of Stephen S. Silver and so forth. Not public access, it is for our agents and our voters. So what we're asking for, I'm not sure if anybody has anything in front of them. I was. So what we're basically asking for, the Scott and Cindy Briggs, the trust of Scott and Cindy Briggs and Stephen S. Silver Incorporated have exchanged easements in order for us to have access to, from the corporation property to Tulip Park for our voters. So they do not have to walk all the way around the corporation or to the construction yard. There was always a walkway prior to the Briggs purchasing it, and since they purchased it, we had found out that that wasn't a public easement or public driveway. So we have been going back and forth for a while now, so we're just about done with the resolution. And this is one of the final steps for the approval to go forward, put in fences and finalize the easements for both properties, so we can have a pedestrian walkway for us.
Yeah, so full disclosure, as the board is aware, I represent Mr. Briggs on the action with Ms. Cottrell. I did talk to her attorney and that resolution was reviewed. I drafted it. He made some revisions, so it was approved by both of us. But it's presented to the board. It would allow access to clear vegetation that's blocking that easement and Willow Park from connecting. So it would clear out the vegetation as well as allow for pedestrians to be able to walk along the easement to access Willow Park and access Sill Marina. Correct. So that's the intent, but that's the resolution I did circulate in advance. It is a joint application, so Mr. Briggs is on board with that as well.
We would just need the village approval to, if it will need the village approval, we have to come in there and probably remove some brush, have a contractor, bonded contractor come in, remove brush from the area, from the village area. And if deemed necessary, only if deemed necessary, some sort of retaining wall along the one side of the. Inside.
All that will cost to the village.
I was, there is no possibility.
They're in agreement.
Yeah, it's just the village that needs to approve it because it's gonna connect to village property and they're gonna be accessing Sean Village property to clear out the vegetation and so forth.
The people going. It's some pedestrians.
That's straight on the field. Yeah, it's just a.
It's
not like a big sidewalk.
And it was Mike Green Land Surveying did a map, so the easement specifically defined on that map, it is referenced in the resolution. As to exactly where the pedestrians, and it would be limited to that.
So, the motion to.
So everybody's in agreement, both parties, you're good with it?
Yeah, again, I represent Briggs and I drafted it, so I know their attorney, I have a conflict, so I represent the village as well. Their attorney authorized me to draft the resolution and acknowledge the conflict, they waive it. So I drafted a resolution. I'm on board with it on behalf of Briggs. I don't see any issue from a village perspective since it's not really impacting you guys in any way.
It was open up that part of the.
Probably facilitate access to the park anyway, so.
You guys are safe.
Behind it.
Okay, and so that we,
Yeah, I did. Tracy brings up a good point. First of all, if they do build a retaining wall, it specifies it beyond the easement area, but it does have language in there that I added that says that it doesn't, that this resolution doesn't eliminate the need for them to come back for any approvals if they were to build a retaining wall for a planning board and so forth. So
Okay, so.
Yep, okay.
if they did need to do that.
I'd like to work it out.
So we have a motion for
Yeah.
Yeah, I
approval.
think they're putting.
I move
oh,
that we
okay.
approve the resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
I
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Jamie Cox. Star soccer player in like 75. Coming back with my sister. Not trying to give up ages, but I wasn't far behind.
Both graduated from your sister.
Okay, thank, remember.
And-
I'm the ball boy.
Yeah, I'll get it signed. I'll tell him that I got passed tonight, so it should be good on the easement signing and, I'll get it. Confirmed with him, we're good, and I'll have, Mr. Briggs and Mrs. Briggs sign, and then I'll send it over to him and he can arrange for you guys to do your part.
And I just don't know about, because at the. Making of this adoption here, a solution, we had one solutions to manage, so.
Yeah, Tracy will just lock that.
We put the line.
Yeah, she'll put it in the official minutes correctly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you all.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
See it.
There will be.
New York forward. Sharon. Hello.
Hi.
Sharon.
This might not be quite as long. Well, I guess it just depends on.
Thank you.
It's a summary document. No, you don't read it if you having trouble sleeping or something. Let's just make sure I got one. I got two more, who wants them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I got one more.
You got it. Yeah, it's what we,
What, I did the summary.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm working on it with her. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is a true statement. Kevin is working on it. I'm old, so computer skills and design and all of that stuff, I don't do very well. Excuse me, I write, that's what I do for a living, and Kevin makes it look pretty. Okay, so together we're a pretty good team. The New York Forward Program, something that comes up, this is the 4th year of the New York Forward Program, which is, in response to the need for large infusions of money into small rural communities, central business districts. 10 years ago, the state created a program called the Downtown Revitalization Initiative. Excuse me. Anyway, so the DRI was a $10 million program. And it went to a lot of larger communities. Like in Wayne County, Newark got a $10 million DRI. But we couldn't, as smaller hamlets and villages, we couldn't compete for money that big. We just didn't, it wasn't a good fit. So 4 years ago, they came up with the New York Forward Program for smaller villages like ours. This will be our third, if you are okay with this. This will be the 3rd time we try and do this. So this is the top page here is a summary of what the program is about. The first thing that we'd like to do is submit a letter of intent to the state. It's just a simple process on the website, the New York Forward website. And what that does, it's not required, but what it does is that it opens up technical assistance to us as we're doing the application. Like if you submit a letter of intent, then you can call folks at the state and talk directly to them about the status of your application, get advice on how it's being written, whether something will fly, it doesn't fly. I don't know if it gives us a competitive edge or not, but I certainly think it's a good idea to do that. What do we have to do before we submit the application? We've got to hold a public hearing. That's not, or a public meeting, not a public hearing. That's not negotiable. We've got to demonstrate some more citizen participation.
And I can demonstrate in the application citizen participation. Ad nauseum, because we use it, you know, we've used. We've had several public meetings for the LWRP, we had public meetings for the. Active transportation program we had public meetings when we got downtown. Money from the New York Main Street program, we've had public meetings coming out our ears, but we have to do another one specifically for this program. And so what I'm hoping to do is to schedule a public meeting. It's not like the village board doesn't have to schedule it. I'd love to have to be there, because, you know, the village is the applicant. But we'll have a public meeting, maybe here, maybe at the fire hall, I'm not sure. A lot of people have gone back south. I think the most important thing is to have Zoom access for that public meeting. But we've gotta show the state that we're okay, number one, that we're okay with the vision statement that we have, which is down here on your top page. Or maybe it needs to be refined a little bit. This vision statement was done in 2006 and 2007, when we did the downtown vision plan. I read it as an old planner, land use planner, and go, that looks pretty good for the village of Sodas Point, in my opinion. But again, and I participated in that downtown vision planning process, as did 100 other people in the village of Sodas Point. So anyway, we've got to go over that again. Maybe redo it, maybe refine it, maybe walk away with the same vision statement, I don't know. The target area, which is on page 3, says geographic area justification. So that area that's yellowed out, light yellow, it's too big. Kevin and I were on a webinar with the state. They were giving us advice. And it's gotta be cut down to probably from the Bay Street down to SBJSA. Otherwise, we're just, you know what, the wind. So anyway, that's another thing that we'll have to come up with a public meeting, and we'll have to explain, because there's a lot of businesses outside of the target area. That's why we try to be so inclusive here. But it worked against us because they want compact business areas, central business districts. So we've got to do that, and we've got to review and refine the project list, which is on the last page. And we've got to incorporate some private investment opportunities. And we're gonna talk to some people in the village. I'm not gonna lay out private business conversations here at a public meeting. But Kevin and I have talked a lot about who we are going to talk to, who may or may not have plans for expansion in the future. And if applying for this money may or may not fit their expansion plans and the timing for it. So that's what we're looking at. And how much we're gonna apply for, $4.5 million. The application deadline is November 7th. And the letter of intent deadline is October 17th. And that's that. Unless you have any questions, and I suspect you might. Or not.
The $4.5 million, and on the last page, which public can't see, there's 10 items that total 12.9 million. So would that be something the state would say, okay, you know, I like 3 and 6 and not, you know, whatever.
Yeah, so if we get funded, well, so the state takes, from what I understand, it's about $300,000, and they hire a consultant. And that consultant comes to the communities who have been awarded the $4.5 million. And they work with a citizens group appointed by the village. And that citizens group puts together what's called a strategic investment plan that needs to be approved by the state before any projects
are invested in. So the projects that you submit may not necessarily end up being the projects that you fund. There could, I mean, you submit a grant application in November, they fund it in what? January, February, and there's a 6-month planning process. And by the time you get done with that, things have changed. So we have to show them that we have basically done our homework. And we have done our homework in this village over and over and over again. We have so many things down on paper in terms of projects and opportunities that we are very well positioned to ask for well more than 4.5 million. So, well, you know, they want at least $8 million in projects, yeah. And hopefully, as much as possible in those projects, I think one of the faults of the applications that we've submitted before has been that we haven't had enough private investment. And so hence we're gonna talk to some businesses in the target area. And hopefully we can come up with leverage some private investment in part of this application and strengthen the application. So yeah, that's what we're hoping to do if you give Kevin and I your blessing. Give it a shot.
So is this something we have to make a motion on, or can we just, or can you give it a shot? I'm asking.
To submit the application for the grant, yeah, you can make a motion.
Love it on the
I
record.
mean, so do you want to discuss it real quick? I mean, it's, you get, it doesn't cost us anything, right?
No, I'm doing it.
Okay.
Oh, you might get what you pay for it, but.
Yeah, it's okay. So Tracy, we should add a trash company. Anyway, I'm teasing. We should add garbage collection to it. We have some dumpsters. No.
Okay.
No. Okay, so I make a motion that we give it a try. Yeah.
Okay, which made the motion?
And second, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, I'm a little partial to number 2, so.
Yeah, I just dumped you out of the target area.
I know, that's why I had to throw my part down.
Yeah. So I'm also not sure, if we're lucky enough to get the money and engaging in the strategic investment plan process, whether or not something leaks out of the target area, I don't know. I won't tell. Let's get the money first.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Trevor.
Thank you, Jack.
Okay, next, we've been asked to read letter into the record from the Sunshine Auto Parade Committee. Being September 1st, 2025. Dear Mayor Kalush, we have often said that it takes a village, and that is certainly what the various agencies of the village of Sodas Point accomplish, working together to make the 21st annual Sunshine Auto Parade a resounding success. 90 cars of various ages participated in the sun-drenched parade, with many gathering on the ball field for closer inspection and car talk after the parade. Please extend our sincere thanks to the following: Bill Kalush, Mayor, Tracy Village Clerk, Melanie Assistant Village Clerk, Village Point Highway Department, Silverwater Ambulance, Village Point Fire Department, Wayne County Sheriff and his deputies. The cooperation and coordination of all these individuals and groups combined to make the parade a great success. Yes, it takes a village. Sincerely, Corey and Howard Potter, the Sunshine Auto Parade Committee organizer. Okay. 7599 North Fitzhugh Street Water Service Letter.
So I can kind of help with this one, because I guess I'm involved in this. So you guys should have in your, have a copy of this in the email. I don't know if you've seen this. No, this one, I guess during the 2009 water project, there was an old service that was on the south side of the house. And there was a conversation had, and somehow between Mark Senior, the service was moved to the north side. it was never hooked back up to the house. I don't know what the conversation was. The person is claiming that Martin said he'd come back and do it later. It's all he said, she said. They didn't have a water connection, but they were paying water and never did a disconnect. So they're paying water for the last 20 years. 20 years. They have to do a disconnect. Yeah. That's what they're saying. Yeah, so or however many years, what is it, 16 years? So 16 years. So they have to do a disconnect, otherwise we charge them a water and sewer bill. So now they're renovating that house and they wanted us to pay for the water line. Their contractor who was doing the donation said, I'm already digging, just let me put the water line in and then talk to the village. So that's what they've asked us to do. They would like us to either give them a credit for the last 16 years of water or to pay for the water line. On our side, once they exposed the service, we found out it was actually leaking. It was wide open at the bottom. So it was leaking water this whole time and it had to be replaced. So we replaced it free. It was our responsibility. Normally we would charge you for that. We didn't charge them. So I've told them before, my first answer was that's their responsibility. They have to pay for it. They didn't like it, so Tracy gave the same answer, I believe, and I believe Melanie gave the same answer, and then Bill gave the same answer. So now we've brought to the village
Why did
board
they go all the way around the front?
up here.
Yeah, they brought it right across the whole front. Up to like the garage side.
That's a different project. They were doing the foundation.
They were doing the foundation, they were repairing the foundation.
Got about the one right next to it.
Across from the fence, yeah, they dug all the way
I
out.
like that guy, that water line all the way.
Oh, I'm not sure if they did that, I just looked at the connection point, that's all I saw. Yeah, they were waterproofing the foundation, when he excavated the whole foundation. So my answer to him was, unfortunately, we don't pay for the water line, that's their responsibility. And if there was a deal 16 years ago between you and someone, we don't know about it. And unfortunately, that person's passed away, so we can't ask them.
Fortunately, with paying a bill, it's not always, it's on them. If they didn't want the water, they should have done it at any point. You have to do a discontinuance.
So you're never paying a water bill until we decide what we're gonna do with Fred House.
Right, and which a lot of people do, like some people will demo, and instead of just doing a because you have to pay to discontinue, then you have to pay to continue. So it's just easier to just continue paying that, which is what we're doing. And so we can't call it, we can't go in the past. It's not
And
what we
we,
can do.
We didn't charge them with that.
the tap was done in the past and we had to replace the service anyways, so we didn't charge them for the excavation to replace it or for the materials because we were right there.
We just need
How long
to,
has it been since somebody put there?
Here.
I've been here for 10 years and no one's been there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Olson.
And they
No,
paid a
no,
water
no.
bill all that time.
but people do that. I mean, people do that. It's not our, it's not our job,
Yeah.
and it's our responsibility, exactly. It's on them, whether they do that or not.
So they're requesting
We just.
an answer from the board.
We need a motion.
So they
for
want
you
you to pay for their place that day?
They either want us to pay for the private pipe from the curb to the house or credit the village, or credit for 16 years of water, or the village can give an answer of what we're doing.
You can't use public funds for private purposes.
Just what,
Thank you. That's what we told them.
if you could make a motion and put it in the record so that we.
Yeah.
Support.
So it should say-
Unless they had something regular.
I mean, you want to get, you're supposed to vote in the affirmative, so if you would say, is anybody in favor of that, and then you'll vote, if you vote against it, then you follow up like a recapture vote, so I've seen it done. I don't know if Scott seen it differently.
So how would you phrase that?
So we'll make a motion to approve this. And then-
Yeah, is anybody in favor of?
Or I'm sorry, I didn't mean
Yeah.
to apply, but yeah.
So I move that we approve. And then it goes down,
And do it.
And then we all vote no.
Right.
So we have to second it to vote on it?
yeah,
Yeah,
So I'll second.
okay, all in favor, well, I can't say, sorry,
All in favor? This is where you want to say no.
all opposed,
opposed.
Opposed,
all right, there you go.
Yeah.
and that's because we're not allowed to do that, right?
Right.
And motion did not carry.
There you go.
Okay.
Allison.
Motion.
Tracy,
9, bills, claims 9/1 through 9/44. Totaling 82,420.48, general 52,919.20. Water 7,638.10, and water wastewater 21,863.18.
Somebody want to make a?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
All in favor?
I,
Okay.
yeah. Would somebody want to make a motion to go into executive sessions?
I move that we go into executive session for the topic of personnel, legal, and
Union negotiations.
And
and
union negotiations,
Real estate
and
transactions.
we may take action afterwards.
You
Right.
gotta invite, remember, because
And we would need to advise,
do you want me because the real estate thing, is that?
yeah, that's one of them. And
They could be all.
Listed four things, personnel, union.
Negotiation.
Or it could be just
Personal.
personnel. And invite Scott and Kevin in also.
yeah,
So, yeah, you can do it all or not, you can do a piecemeal, like if you want to invite.
Yeah, if you wanna kick me out after real estate tonight, all right?
You can ask whatever you want on executive session, and then when you go talking about a different topic, you can bring in or. Thanks for cover.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Good. Did somebody make that motion?
No.
All right.
I did, didn't I?
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lori did.
Sorry, Lori did. That's right.
All right.
Do we have a second?
Second.
What?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Folks, we're going into executive session
Thank you, everybody.
There may be action taken, so.
afterwards.
Afterwards.
Anybody wants?
Nice job.
You want this off?